Good morning. God, that light is terrible. Hey, Do. Happy Friday. Is it raining by you? Looks like it's going to rain here. So today we are going to be playing with the cottage wreath stamp set and coordinating dies. And I actually did already stamp the wreath and die cut it. So I didn't have to get up to die cut. We're also going to be using the pumpkin pie cardstock and the All About Autumn designer series paper. Some very vanilla. There's another little square. And then here's the wreath. I actually did stamp it in pumpkin pie. Just gonna move this down a little bit. And then I did the twigs in early espresso. All right. So there's that. And then I die cut the bow from pumpkin pie, and it comes with the dies that go to the stamp set. And I also have a sentiment. Let me pull it out here. And I did grateful. Actually, this is not early espresso, it's pecan pie. I think that's what I did. Let me just check. Yes, it's pecan pie. So pumpkin pie and pecan pie. Making me hungry. All right. So those are all the pieces that we need. So let's put the card together. So we're going to start with a piece of cardstock. Let me grab my ruler. That is 8 by 4. All right. So that's our starting piece. And we're going to grab our trimmer and we are going to score it at 4 inches. Right in down the center. Then what you need to do, and I'm just going to, I wrote everything down so I don't mess it up like I did last night during our video. You're going to score a diagonal. So what you're going to do is where it is scored at the top of this page, you're going to line that up in the little grid here. So it's even in the center of that grid. And then you're going to line up this bottom, let me just move up a little, this bottom corner in that same grid. Okay, so we're going to just line this up just like that. And then you're going to score on the diagonal. So you can see now it's scored down the diagonal and it's scored at 4 inches. And then we're going to do the same thing to this side. We're going to line it up in that groove, the corner down here in the same groove, close it up and score. All right, so now we have 2 score lines and a center. Our second piece of pumpkin pie measures 4 by 4, and we are going to score this in half. Line that up right in half. Okay, just like that. Good morning, Karen. How are you? So those are our cardstock pieces. Now we're going to take our designer series paper and we are going to cut it again, line it up in these grooves, but instead of scoring, we are going to cut it in half. Now, if your paper is directional, you're going to have to watch the way you cut it so it cuts okay. And this piece, I should have said, is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And I'm going to cut this one also on the diagonal. Just make sure that's in there. Whoops. The ribbon just went flying. Okay, so those 2 squares are now 4 triangles. Okay. Then I did the same thing with a piece of very vanilla. It's 3 7/8 by 3 7/8, and I cut it on the diagonal. Okay. So that's all. Oh, and then we have one more piece before I put this away. This one we are going to cut in half or on the diagonal, just like we did the larger circle. I'm just going to make sure I get that straight. But you are going to cut it in half again. And this is, let me just measure this just to be on the safe side. So it's about 2 inches. So we're going to put it in here and line it up at, I'm going to line it up at that corner. This is a little teeny tiny piece. And we're going to just cut it in half. And then we're going to do it again. So I'm lining it up at the straight edge and putting that corner in the center of the groove of our trimmer. And then I'm just cutting it in half. So now we have 4 little triangles. Another card with lots of pieces. All right, so now we're going to pull in our card base. Let's fold on all the score lines. All right, so we have all our score lines folded. We're going to do the same thing to this little square. Fold and burnish on the score line. And then we're going to take our designer series paper. And I'm going to adhere these. Let's see if we can. There we go. I'm going to adhere my pieces on this piece before I add it to the base. And I'm going to use glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room in case I make a mistake. I can at least have a minute or two. Yes, fall does have beautiful colors. The trees here are really starting to turn. Pennsylvania is a really pretty state in August or in autumn. All right, so I put one piece there. I'm going to take the other piece and adhere it right here on the other side. So I'm leaving just a little bit of space. Okay, there's a little bit of an edge. Just like that. Just going to move this up a little so it's a little clearer. Now we can adhere this to the front of this card. Now you'll notice that it's going to come off the edge. So we want to be careful when we add our glue. So I am going to add the glue down that score line. And I'm actually going to add it to these triangles here so I don't make a mistake. And we're going to take this piece and we are going to line it up. And you can see I overdid it. That's okay though, because we're going to put those little put those little pieces there. So we're just going to put this in here. Want to make sure that when we fold it, it works properly. All right. So we got that there. And then this little piece here is to put our little pieces. So I'm just going to add some glue where it's a little sticky here now. Just going to add that right there. I'll pull out my glue eraser. And once that dries, I can just erase some of that glue. All right, and then we're going to add this piece right here, just so we can fill in that blank space. Okay. Next, what we want to do is grab another piece of our designer series paper, and we are going to add it to this corner right here. So I'm going to add my glue. And add this right like this. All right. We have another little square, so I am going to add this little square right here. So again, we have a cute little puzzle here, right? All right, so here's our card base. Now, the reason I didn't fill this in is because when this closes up, this piece is going to be adhered just like this. All right, this is a TP card. It's called a TP card or a pyramid card. All right, so there's our card base. Now to keep it closed, we can use a Velcro dot. And when it comes to these Velcro dots, when you take them apart, there's one side that's clear and there's one side that is a little whiter. So I am going to adhere this. I want to make sure that I put it in the right spot. I'm going to adhere it just about here. Okay. I'm going to pull off this second piece of plastic. And we're going to just fold it. I'm just going to adhere that a little bit so I can pull it apart easily. All right, so there we go. So there's our Velcro. And then I have our wreath. So when this is closed, it sits just like this. If you wanted to use it, put a little hanger on, you could attach a piece of twine and pull the string out, and it could be a decoration. You could hang it on the Christmas tree. You have to decide what side you want for your front, and I'm going to use this side, and I am going to attach my wreath, and I'm actually going to use some dimensionals. Let's try to get rid of this piece of paper. I'm going to add these so we don't see them. And here's the back. So I'm going to use this one here so we don't see that. I'm going to add my wreath just like there. Make sure it's adhered. Okay, so there's my wreath. Then I have my little bow. And I'm actually going to adhere this with some glue. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue and we'll adhere this right to the center. Oops. All right. And then I have my sentiment, which I am going to tuck under, but I need to just trim this a little bit. I'm going to add a bit of glue to the end. Make sure that stays on there straight. And let's put it up here. Make sure it's straight again. All right, so there is our wreath with our grateful. I did not start that one yet, Karen. Right now, I'm doing the Maya Kowalski case. And yes, it is very sad and scary that that could happen in the United States. And I mean, it is just devastating. And that's the case we're watching right now, Maya Kowalski. She's such a beautiful little girl. And horrible what happened to that family. We're about a day behind. So I didn't see yesterday's yet. But so now after today, I don't know how much I'll get done for today's. Is it? That'll be the next one I watch. I mean, it's just really very sad, like I said, that it's happening in the that it happened in the United States. All right, so now we have our wreath. I'm going to just open this up again, and I have my eraser. So I am just going to take off some of this glue here so it's not sticky. These erasers are really great. I was sending these out in my swag bags when you purchased from me. I was sending these erasers in the bags. All right, let me just do this a little bit more. If you get a chance, head over to my blog and check out the 35% special for the starter kits with Stampin' Up. For $99, you can get $168 worth of product, or for $68, you can get $125 worth of product. So if you need to stock up on some crafty goodness, check it out. I did cut this one because if you notice, there's really no place. Yeah, me too. There's really no place to write your sentiment on it. So I'm going to just flip it over and I'm going to add it to the back of this card. I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm going to leave it plain. And we're going to add this to the back. Then this way you can sign it and write your message. And then if you want, when it's time to put it into your envelope, let me just see how long this is. I don't know if this will fit. Let me pull an envelope out. It might not. No. So what you'll have to do is to add it to your envelope. I had it figured out. Now, how did I figure this out? You can fold it just like that, and then it will fit in your envelope. All right. So if you fold it completely flat, it will fit into a normal sized envelope. It's a little fat, so you'll have to add extra postage, of course. So you can write your sentiment. When they get it, you can display it just like this. All right. So there is today's Fun Fold TP card. So I will have a PDF for it on my blog tomorrow. I'll let you know when it's ready with all the dimensions. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. I got to run to the post office. And I will see you soon. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks, Karen. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy those trials. Yeah, it's true, right? It's a cute little Christmas tree. Good idea. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.